How does what you offer make the client or the person's life better? How do you improve the life? How do you make the life better? What do they get? What do they get? How does their life improve from buying what you sell? And number three, which is really, really important. So they've got to know straight away what you offer in 10 seconds looking at your website. Hey, it's Alan here, and I want to take you through Donald Miller, Marketing Made Simple, building a wireframe that works. This is a big question because we all do. Maybe we don't all, but building a website is an important part of any business. And the big question when building a website is, what the hell goes in this website? What the hell do we put in this website? Well, let's talk about the header, the simplest part of the website, the header. In this book, he calls it the header in Marketing Made Simple. We would know it, I think most marketing people would know it as whatever is above the fold on the homepage. He calls it a header. Now, in his book, he says, you've got to ask 3 questions. Obviously, you build a beautiful looking website. Really, he says design doesn't matter. I beg to differ from that. I think design does matter. I think you need a good design system. I think you need a beautiful website. And it's got to be within brand. So I'm going to beg different on the design. I think the design matters. But what he says about content is so important. He says there's 3 questions that you've got to ask. And I'm going to add one in. I think there's 4. He says there's 3 questions you've got to ask. Number 1, what do you offer? Now, you have got to explain what you offer so simply that anyone could understand. That you can go into a coffee shop, grab someone randomly, show them your homepage, and they should be able to say what you sell. Straight away, within 2 seconds, they should be able to say what you sell. Now, you'd be surprised at how many websites it's confusing. And I've done this myself, as I've wireframed up websites and I've shown them to people, and I've been taking a look at what's this business sell, and they've looked at it and they'd be like, I don't know. And I'm so close to the project, and I'm so, no, look at it. You can see, look, what do they sell? And the person's like, no, sorry, Alan, I don't know what they sell. So what Donald Miller says is, in 10 seconds, they've got to know what you sell. Clarify a message. It's got to be really simple. Really, really simple. What do you offer? Question 2. How does what you offer make the client or the person's life better? How do you improve the life? How do you make the life better? What do they get? What do they get? How does their life improve from buying what you sell? And number three, which is really, really important. So they've got to know straight away what you offer in 10 seconds looking at your website. They've got to know how that benefits their life, what they get out of it, what they get out of working with you, what they get out of buying your product. How does that benefit their life? They've got to get that out in 2 seconds. And obviously you have your customer avatar, so you know who you're aiming at, who this person is that you are aiming at, and you want them to know what you do in a few seconds. The last question is really simple. What do they need to do to buy? What steps do they need to take to buy? Now, this is simple for most companies. You have a big, huge buy button. Or whatever your call to action is. Now, not everybody has a big buy button. Now, your call to action might not be buy. For example, if you look at Domino's Pizza, they have a huge button. But it's a button to enter your email address. So the first step might not be to buy necessarily. It might be just the first call to action, which might be just getting their email address. Might be them downloading something. But what steps do they need to take next? So how do they buy? Number 1, because there should always be a buy button there, even if the next step isn't to buy. Even if the next step is to give you their email address, there should be an option to buy or move forward with the purchase. You may not be able to buy straight away if it's a service. They may just need to say, move forward or contact you or whatever. But it's got to be an easy, obvious way for them to buy or take the next step. And there's also got to be an easy, obvious way for them to give you their email address, take the next step in the relationship, whatever it happens to be. So, 3 questions. What do you sell? What are you offering? It has to be really obvious. In 10 seconds, they've got to know. How does what you're offering make their life better? Again, in 10 seconds, they've got to see it. They've got to see the benefits that to them for taking a step. Number 3, what action do they need to take to move forward? So what action do they need to take to buy? And also what action do they need to take to give you their email address? Now, maybe they're downloading something, maybe you're offering something, maybe it's a quiz, maybe it's a white paper. Who cares what it is? Maybe it's a discount. But what steps do they need to take to give you their email address? There are 3 questions. Now, I would add in one more question. This is not in this book, but it is Donald Miller-esque. Is what do they become from transaction with you? Because he wrote the Story Brand, which is all about becoming more of yourself by interacting with a business. So you're the guide who gives them the information they need to become more themselves. So what do they become is another question I'm going to add in. What do they become? What do they become more of by transacting with you? What do they grow within themselves? How do they become better by clicking the buy button, by moving forward with you? But they're the 3 questions, and it really simplifies the process of the content. So if you can answer those 3 questions, you have all your content for the homepage. And you know your business. So you should be able to, and the way I would suggest doing it is most phones nowadays, most iPads, most computers will, if you just sit down and what's called a 5-minute free write. Now you can type. If you can type, great. If you're only comfortable with a pen, do it with a pen. If you can speak to your computer, maybe you just want to speak to your computer and just get it all down. So just do your 5-minute free write, answer these questions and get them all down on the, everything, every idea, every thought in your head, just get it down on the paper. There's no right or wrong answers. Get it all down on the paper and the computer and the iPad, wherever it happens to be, and write it down, whatever. And then edit it, then clean it up, then delete stuff out, then edit afterwards. But when you're putting it all down, don't edit. Just get all the information you have down. You know your business. Get everything, all the benefits, everything you know about your business. Just get it down on paper. Afterwards, you can edit it, take things out, delete stuff out, go through with someone else. Someone else might give you some good ideas of what to delete. But the first step is just to get it all out. So answer those 3 questions. These really, really, really important questions Donald Miller puts in here. So answer those 3 questions and it should give you everything you need. If you're working with a designer, if you're working with a copywriter, whoever you're working with, you should be able to give them these details. Wireframe out your website. Great way to do it. He doesn't suggest in the book, but great way to do it is Figma. You can just create a frame and put it all in, put the whole wireframe in really, really quickly, really, really easy. But answering these 3 questions are going to give you all the details, all the information you need to get a great, an incredible wireframe built. This is how to wireframe a website that works. He has a great model. You can follow his model in here, which is great. He has a great little model. Buy the book and just take a look. He has a great little model. He can show you. You can recreate it in Figma. Obviously, there's not one way to do a website. Obviously, every business is different. But all I'm saying is that Donald Miller's model is a really good model to start with. And you can edit your website. But to have these questions answered within 10 seconds, what do you do? What do you do? What do you offer? What's your product? What benefit is it to me? What do I get out of it? What benefits to me? And how do I buy? What's the simple steps? So you want one step, hopefully, 1 click, hopefully, but 2 or 3 clicks tops that I need to do to get this relationship moving forward. This has been Alan here. I just want to talk about Donald Miller and building a wireframe that it works.